So today I'm going field recording in King's Cross for a new project I'm working on, which is a spatial sound installation at King's Place in King's Cross, London. And I'm going to say King's Cross a lot in this video, I feel, because the name of the installation is The Sounds of King's Cross. So the plan for this installation, which will be mixed in D&B Soundscape, which is a spatial sound system, so it'll sound like the different sounds are all coming from different places in the room, is for me to interview some people who care for our green and blue spaces in the city, and to also capture the sounds of the urban nature, as well as just the plain urban sounds, and weave them together into a 20-minute piece that explores our urban green spaces. Today I'm just focusing on field recording and capturing some of those initial sounds. I'm just going to go out and see what's there. Maybe it's birdsong, maybe it's the sound of the canals. And later this month I'll be interviewing the different people who will be featured in this installation. So I thought I'd bring you along for the journey, and let's go do some field recording. Despite it being mid-February, it's a beautiful day and the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and I feel very lucky to be spending the day away from the demands of my laptop, the emails, the editing, the admin. I start in St Pancras Gardens, which surround St Pancras Old Church, where over the years I've been to some amazing gigs. I set up my kit, and today I've brought two omnidirectional microphones which record in 360 degrees, meaning that they pick up sound from all around, which I find to capture really immersive field recordings. In the city, this means they pick up everything from the rumble of cars to planes overhead to the screeching trains. And through this hubbub, you can also hear birdsong, like this robin. I head out of the gardens to record the streets, and as I'm walking along, I hear cars and bikes and people passing by. And it feels slightly strange recording in such a busy area. Usually I'm recording out in forests or fields or by the coast. Whereas being in the city, I'm suddenly very aware of how other people are perceiving me as I'm recording. And I get the feeling that some drivers think that I'm a speed enforcement officer as I stand by the road with my slightly strange microphone setup pointed at the cars. And as they go past me, they slow down. As I walk along, I start to wonder what I'm going to do with these recordings of the city. There is a lot of human sound and not much wildlife yet, which is unsurprising given that I'm very near the centre of the city and also the time of year. In my experience of field recording, I'm yet to come across what some people might think of as a pristine soundscape. Even when I've gone to remote areas of the UK, I've not been far from a flight path or from a road. When I'm recording, often there'll be these human interruptions. And while this can be frustrating, particularly when I've wanted to capture some birdsong or the atmosphere on the side of a mountain, I think for nature enthusiasts of my generation, The idea of humans being separate from wildlife or the outdoors or the natural world is unthinkable. Whether it's our impact on the environment, both good and bad, humans are as much a part of our environments as any tree or animal or river or rock. And so it feels important for me in my work to capture those sounds. And this project in particular is focusing on how humans and wildlife interact and how they coexist in places. I spent some time at Coaldrop's Yard, which is a hub of shops and restaurants in the heart of King's Cross. I sit on a bench in the sun and listen to fragments of people's conversations, and it's moments like these that make me so grateful for field recording. Usually I'm ticking off to-do lists or mentally going through projects and what I need to do next. Whereas field recording forces me to stop and listen and to observe, which with social media and everything that's distracting us feels quite rare. I sat on this bench for about 20 minutes, just watching the world go by, and it was fascinating watching the fashion students walk by, the parents spending time with their children on half term, the tourists, the people on their lunch break from work, and just watching everyone going about their day. For the rest of the afternoon, I spent some time walking along the towpath. Later this week, I'll be interviewing the co-founder of Word and Water, a floating independent bookshop on Regent's Canal. They'll be the first of my interviews focused on how people are creating amazing spaces in urban areas that embrace or engage with the natural world. Today, I'm simply recording the atmosphere of the canal, for example, the coots and the geese. I even tried to do some underwater recording, just in case any aquatic plants are making sounds in this lovely February sun. But I think it's still too early for that, so I'll save my pond sounds for a future video. Walking around King's Cross with my headphones on and recording through my microphone brought my awareness to the many layers of sound we hear when we go to these urban spaces. How there's constant cars and trains and bikes and construction work and birds and people, and how familiar it all is, but also how so often when we're walking around we don't really notice it, we tune it out. Particularly if we're listening to music or a podcast, it can be easy to forget to listen to your surroundings. And through this installation, I want to draw people to these sounds and for them to notice what is going on in the space around King's Place, the venue. I'm looking forward to exploring more in King's Cross and meeting the people who look after the green spaces and create activities for people to get involved in. If you would like to experience the installation and listen to some of these sounds, there will be 2 listening sessions on Saturday 5th of April in London, followed by a gig by me and my band as part of the Earth Unwrapped programme at King's Place. You can find more details in the description below about that, as well as my other work and how to stay up to date. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed these field recordings.